It's election season and ballots are arriving at homes in Pierce County. Tacoma Public Utilities has a rebate for you, and job seekers in the Hilltop get a link to opportunities. All that and more on this edition of Tacoma Report. Hello, I'm Lane Fickey. University of Washington students and faculty are working with community members and city staff this academic year on projects to improve livability and sustainability across Tacoma. Maria Lee has this story.
Excitement was in the air as the University of Washington and City of Tacoma officially kicked off its Livable City Year program partnership at the University of Washington Tacoma's newly renovated paper and stationery building.
Really what I think I'm most excited about is being a part of taking a next generation of students and leaders and helping them understand better how our government works. And I think that this will advance what I think is one of the biggest challenges that local government has, is how to better engage our community.
We feel like the leadership that the City of Tacoma has shown by committing to this partnership and bringing these wonderful projects to the fore is really going to let the students and the skills of faculty shine, and it's a terrific moment.
The program links the resources and human capacity of University of Washington students and faculty, drawing across multiple University of Washington schools, colleges, and campuses to address real-world topics identified by the City of Tacoma.
We're excited about this partnership. We're excited about the students that get to work with the city staff and as well as residents within the City of Tacoma to have a stake in the goals and a stake in the outcomes.
The goals will be realistic, specific, and measurable, and they'll help advance the city's One Tacoma Comprehensive Plan and Tacoma 2025 Strategic Visioning Framework. For Tacoma Report, I'm Maria Lee.
This fall, University of Washington students are working on a variety of Livable City Year projects, including placemaking planning around potential transit stations, assessing neighborhood emergency preparedness, creating a revitalization planning toolkit, developing neighborhood health indicators, and more. We'll bring you updates on these projects as they progress. The November 7th general election is right around the corner. Pierce County mailed ballots to registered voters on October 20th. Voter pamphlets were mailed on October 12th, but you can also find that pamphlet online by going to the Pierce County Auditor's website. Now, if you aren't registered to vote, new Washington State voter registration is open until October 30th for in-person registration. More than 100 residents from Tacoma's 8 neighborhood councils celebrated 25 years of community building with a gathering at the Star Center in South Tacoma. Entertainment and featured guests highlighted the evening with presentations by some of the neighborhood council's founding members, and former Tacoma mayors also shared some history on how the program came into existence.
I see that more people recognize the importance of neighborhood participation. If you have questions about what's going on in your neighborhood, ask someone. Go to a neighborhood council meeting.
The September celebration also included presentations by current members of the neighborhood councils on the success and accomplishments in their communities. Each neighborhood council is an independent, nonprofit citizen organization which is designed to promote community-based efforts for neighborhood improvement. For more information, visit the city's website. Sound Transit is holding a final design and pre-construction open house for the Tacoma Link Extension project. This open house provides an opportunity for the community to view light rail project renderings, learn about pre-construction activities, and provide feedback on the city's streetscape design project. The event takes place on Wednesday, November 8th from 5 to 7 p.m. on the Evergreen State College Tacoma campus. Now you can visit the Sound Transit website to find out more information about the effort around the Tacoma Link Extension. Up next, we'll be joined by Andy Miklo from the city's Planning and Development Services Department to talk about the Links to Opportunity project. Stay with us. To connect Hilltop job seekers with anticipated opportunities in the region, including the Tacoma Link Extension project, the City of Tacoma is seeking a consultant to do a detailed analysis of their specific needs. Now, here to tell us more about this effort is Andy Miklo from the city's Planning and Development Services Department. Andy, welcome to the show, and thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So, Andy, tell us a little bit about what is Links to Opportunity.
The Links to Opportunity project is a streetscape improvement project that is associated with the link extension with Sound Transit that's going to take the link from the Stadium District all the way down to South 19th Street. What we're going to do with the city is redesign the sidewalks along that route. And part of this piece is really this jobs component, which we'll talk about shortly.
So the city's looking to get a consultant. So what were their specific ideas and things they're looking at? What's the consultant going to do?
So this consultant will work with city staff in the Hilltop Engagement Committee, which is an appointed advisory committee to this project, to really identify barriers to Hilltop job seekers. And then with this information, the consultant will produce a plan that will help us identify strategies and programs to help job seekers throughout their entire employment process.
So we're still in the early planning stages of this, but what's been done so far?
So far, we've really focused on the streetscape component through outreach efforts. And what this really entails is a lot of door-to-door knocking. We've created this Hilltop Engagement Committee. And we've also hired 3 grassroots consultants. So we've been working with the Tacoma Housing Authority, Downtown on the Go, and the HACK links. So the HACK is the Hilltop Action Coalition, and what they've been doing is working with small, generally underserved populations to really get them involved in this planning process. For example, the Tacoma Housing Authority is led specific focus groups towards their residents and really geared at what those residents need. And really excitingly, recently we've held a creative conversations workshop at the storefront office. The storefront office is a really great resource on the Hilltop at 1120 South 11th Street. And city staff, as long as consultants and other project staff from Sound Transit, are there to answer questions. And what we did is we held these creative conversations workshops where we asked the public to come and tell us important people and places in Hilltop history, colors or words they associate, and then our urban designers and our consultants will take this to really integrate their ideas into the streetscape to really produce a design that is reflective of the community's values.
So during this initial outreach, what are you hearing from the people? Are people excited about this?
People are really excited about this. It's a really great opportunity for them to really experience change in their neighborhood and to be proactive about it. And really associated, again, is this jobs piece. While we hear great things about the streetscape, we're also hearing things about needing jobs in the area. So it's really important to us that we emphasize the streetscape is a really important project, so is this jobs piece.
And if anybody has some questions or concerns or want some answers on this, where should they go?
Well, that's a two-part question. So if they have questions on the jobs RFP, they can contact Kimberly Ward at kward2 at cityoftacoma.org. If they have questions about the streetscape project, they can stop by our project office, again, at 1120 South 11th Street, or they can contact me at amiclo@cityoftacoma.org.
Andy, thank you very much, and we hope to have you back in about 6 months or so to give us an update of where things are.
That'd be great. I'd love to come back to talk about the project.
Great. Thanks for being here today. After the break, we'll find out about Tacoma's public utilities efforts to further reduce its carbon footprint. Stay with us. Tacoma Public Utilities has introduced the latest all-electric vehicle to its fleet. Employees who use official vehicles for their work duties were recently given a preview of the newly released Chevy Bolt. It will be among 200 alternative fuel vehicles being used at TPU and can travel more than 200 miles on a single charge. The addition of this vehicle is part of the utility's ongoing sustainability program to reduce fuel use and emissions.
We've over the years reduced our usage of fossil fuel. Our goal is to get to the 15% reduction of fossil fuels. That is the environmental action plan for the city of Tacoma. And this goes in a large part of doing that. Everything we're looking at lately, we're looking at alternatives to do that reduction.
TPU is also planning to add its first hybrid electric passenger van to the fleet in the next few months. If you'd like a close-up look at electric vehicles and even have an opportunity to test drive one, come to Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium on Saturday, November 4th. The Zoo and Aquarium will host an electric vehicle ride and drive event from 9:30 a.m. until 3 p.m. Visitors will have a chance to test drive a variety of electric cars and e-bikes around Point Defiance and learn how they benefit the planet. To participate in a test drive, you must have a valid driver's license and be at least 21 years old. There's still time for Tacoma Power customers to get a rebate to purchase and install a ductless heat pump to help save money on home heating and cooling costs. The program is in its 6th year and has been a success. Tacoma Report's John Phillips spoke with one customer who says her new ductless heat pump has made a huge difference.
It's a really special area here, yeah. Everyone has acreage, and then we're just 15 minutes from downtown.
Former New Yorker Ronna Nelson enjoys the milder climate here, but not what it was costing to keep her home warm during the winter with an old electric furnace.
So my house saw 65 and 60 degrees, 65 during the day and 60 at night. And if my daughter was cold, I'd say, put a sweater on because our bills are really high.
A year ago, she took advantage of Tacoma Power's ductless heat pump rebate program and had a participating contractor install one.
So my bills used to be $400 for 2 months in the winter, and the house was not warm at all. The highest bill, I just looked, since I've had the heat pump installed about a year ago, the highest bill has been $150 for 2 months.
The DHP now keeps the entire living area of her small home comfortable. Nelson has yet to switch on her old furnace for more heat. Additionally, it provides air conditioning on warm summer days. Installation is quick, the DHP is easy to operate, and it runs quietly.
Totally glad I did it. Promote it to everyone. It's a great program, and Tacoma Power helps you, and it really cuts your bills and makes you feel good, and you're helping the environment because you're using more efficient power.
The energy savings that customers can usually count on is about 25% to 50%, depending on their existing heating system and how they use the power.
Those energy savings will accumulate with each bill. Additionally, customers can finance a new DHP, weatherization, or even new windows with Tacoma Power's 7-year zero-interest loan program.
They love their ductless heat pumps. They tell their neighbors about them, and their neighbors are putting them in. People seem to really like the product. So I foresee that this will continue to be a popular installation measure for conservation.
6 years and 3,000 ductless heat pump installations later, Tacoma Power's program remains popular and is saving customers money on each power bill. The utility is now offering a $500 rebate for purchase and installation of a ductless heat pump. TacomaPowerRebates.com has the program details, a list of contractors to get you started, and information on financing. For Tacoma Report, I'm John Phillips.
Aside from the ductless heat pump rebates and programs for weatherization and lighting, Tacoma Power has a pair of new rebate offerings to help customers save on their power bills. Customers with an electric furnace or heat pump can now qualify for a $50 instant rebate on a new smart thermostat for their home. The rebate is for specific thermostats installed by a contractor. The other rebate program is for replacement of older electric home heating systems with a new heat pump. A $500 rebate is available for replacing an existing electric furnace with a qualifying central heat pump. A $250 rebate is also being offered to those who upgrade their older heat pump system. Zero-interest loans are available to customers that qualify. You can learn more about these programs and find out about how to contact one of the participating contractors by visiting TacomaPowerRebates.com. As the holiday season approaches, many will start to pull out their holiday lights for decorating in and around their homes, and finding out that they don't work is part of the tradition. The Tacoma Recycle Center accepts holiday lights year-round. That includes lights and the wire, yet does ask that lights that are incorporated in any kind of decorative frame be removed from the frame and recycled separately. For questions, call the Recycle Center. After the break, we'll find out how domestic violence and homelessness intersect. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and in many instances, domestic violence and homelessness are connected. Our next report takes a look at what's being done to help those faced by both issues. There are many women in domestic violence situations that are afraid to leave the abuse because with nowhere to go, they could end up homeless. Luckily, there are many shelter locations in the Tacoma-Pierce County area where domestic violence victims can turn to. The Crystal Judson Family Justice Center, the Family Renewal Shelter, and the YWCA, just to name a few.
The Tacoma Needs Assessment shows that there's about 3 times higher demand for affordable housing units than units that actually exist. And so what we're seeing in our shelter program is a lot more people who are coming to us rather than fleeing from their own home. They've been living in their car, they've been sleeping in the woods, they've been bouncing between other kinds of shelters before they come to our DV program. So it's an increasing struggle for people to find a place to go.
Another organization that knows the importance of housing and having a safe place to relocate to for domestic violence victims is Catholic Community Services, which operates the Nativity House. They work closely with all of the other agencies to provide the best services possible.
I think that we here in Pierce County are very connected and very collaborative. Unfortunately, there's not sufficient shelter resources, domestic violence as well as homeless shelter capacity. So we do our best to call each other and see if we can use the resources that we do have. Finding affordable housing solutions has become a top priority, and those that provide the shelter services are trying to make the transition process as easy as possible.
DV shelters are usually an immediate access. Most programs have a phone screening. Someone can call, talk to an advocate, do some safety planning, make a plan of how they're going to leave safely and get to the shelter program. And then once they're there, we have staff that help work with them to figure out where are you going to go after shelter? How do we do an assessment, get a housing referral, figure out what our long-term housing plan is.
There are many agencies in the Tacoma-Pierce County area that provide help and shelter to domestic violence victims. Most have a 24-hour helpline for those needing assistance. There's a city program that works to keep the community clean by sweeping up leaves and debris on a scheduled basis. Stacy Elliford has more on what residents can do when street sweepers are in their neighborhood.
Fall is leaf season, and if you get a card like this in the mail, it will show a specific date that street sweepers will be in your neighborhood.
We have a crew on Graveyard. We do 9 months systematically throughout the city and about 3 months during the leaf season, which is starting right now.
One important thing to remember is to never leave yard waste in the street. It can clog storm drains and cause urban flooding.
It just takes longer for us to finish our areas, and we might not be able to respond to other areas that may need sweeping. It could cause flooding if the leaves plug up the catch basins, especially this time of year.
Instead, rake up leaves and place them in your brown yard waste container, or compost and use as mulch in your garden. City residents can dispose of yard waste for no additional charge at the Tacoma Recovery and Transfer Center.
The most important element of the street sweeping program is it improves the quality of the stormwater. And of course, it beautifies the neighborhood, removes hazards from the road, and helps prevent some flooding in the leaf seasons.
Help city crews this leaf season. On your scheduled street sweeper day, remember to remove all cars and waste containers. And before crews arrive, prune branches 14 feet above the street surface. This will help the entire street get the best sweep it can. For Tacoma Report, I'm Stacy Elliford.
To find out more about the street sweeping program, including when they could be visiting your district, visit the city's site. If you have a song in your heart, you can join in on a community sing-along hosted by the Tacoma Refugee Choir on November 4th at 7 p.m. at Lincoln High School. Part of a Neighborhood Innovative Grant-funded project in the Lincoln District, this event will feature local musicians including Grammy nominee QDOT and Stephanie Ann Johnson, as well as the Tacoma Refugee Choir. Admission is free, however, a ticket is required. For more information and to get tickets, visit their website. Mark your calendar for the 4th annual Holiday Heritage Swing Dance on Friday, November 3rd. This year's theme is Browns Point Bop, as the event is being held at the Browns Point Clubhouse. Guests are invited to tour the historic Lighthouse Keeper's Cottage at 5 p.m. and the dance starts at 6. Sounds of a big band will play and guests can get in the dancing groove with the swing dance demonstration. To RSVP or for more information, visit the city's site. That's all the time we have on this edition of Tacoma Report. A great way to find out about the services the City of Tacoma has to offer is by going to cityoftacoma.org. Until next time, I'm Lane Fickey.